In this video, I'll show you how to work with textures when you're creating material in Unreal Engine. So I'll start by going to Content Drawer, and in previous video I already explained how to create material and how to work with the editor. So I'm just going to open a file that I've already created. So here I want to introduce you to three texture types that we are going to work with today. The first one is a basic one. It's called diffuse texture. So basically it's a base texture for our material, and it defines what color or pattern gonna be applied to our material. The second one is a simple grayscale map. We're going to use it for our roughness, and what it does is basically controls how dull or shiny your surface is. And the third one is very important one. So the way it's called normal map, and the way it works is it tricks the light to appear more detailed. So it adds details to your surface without actually changing the shape. And if you want, for example, to make your surface look like it has a lot of bumps and grooves, this will help you a lot. So now we can go ahead and apply those textures. Just connect RGB output of a basic texture to a base color, and the grayscale map will be connected to roughness input, and normal map we will connect to normal input. Another useful feature that I want to show you about these textures is if you click on texture sample and double click on the texture, it will send you to texture editor. So here you can view each of the RGB channels separately, and it will show you the value of how much red this pattern has, and green and blue, you can toggle them. And then there's also alpha channel. Alpha channel is kinda shows you how see-through your texture is. So I'm just gonna go back to a graph, and I'll show you how to how to adjust the material properties. I'll do that by using texture coordinate node. We'll just right click, search for it. Okay, so now we are going to connect the output of a texture coordinate to UV tile inputs of base texture and normal map. It will help us to control how our texture is being mapped, and those UV tile settings will allow you to adjust. One second, let's do this before I continue. We'll just apply our material onto our object so you can see the result right now and then compare. So yeah, UV tiling setting will define how many times you want our texture to repeat itself, and it will also make it smaller in scale. So I'll just type 5:3, and now I'll apply and you'll see the difference. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to blend color with our base texture. So I'll just create constant 3 vector and make it green. You can search for it, or you can hold number 3 and left click. Okay, maybe it's a bit too green. To blend those colors, I will want to create multiply node. You can also search for it, or you can hold M and left click, and then we're just going to connect the base texture to A input, because A1 is, in this situation, it's more dominant, and the B input will be responsible for what color we're blending with our texture. And then we're just gonna connect it and apply. So now you can see how our texture changed the color without losing any of the details. So let's experiment, and let's say I want to blend two surfaces together but keep our color applied to one of the surfaces only. In that case, I already have surface here, sorry, texture. So what I'm gonna do is create lerp, just search for lerp. This node will help us to do it. I'll connect base texture to A and new texture to B. Actually, I'll connect our multiplied texture with the color to A, and then I'll connect this to base color. So now you can see that only one of the textures is applying gray tint to it. And the last thing I want to show you is how to control how our two textures appear on the material, on the surface. To do that, we can create mask. Just type mask. Just type mask. And then I will use a grayscale map. I'll connect RGB output to mask input and mask output to alpha. Okay, so now you see, also let me connect our texture coordinate to a new texture. So now we'll apply it. So what this mask does is this grayscale will help our textures to appear in certain pattern, where the texture that's connected to B input will appear in white areas, and texture that's connected to A input will appear in black areas, and the gray areas will kind of blend them together. So this is it for this video. Thanks for watching.